Hey y'all, it's Cam again. So this is the Senate torture report, and I think we're on video 38. Because it's like a 700-page document. We've been working on this for a while, but anyway, so let me get the actual technical name of the document. Hold on one moment. I should have already had that picture pulled up. I have to look at it every single time because it's pretty long. Oh, come on. Where did it go? Okay. So it is the report of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, committee study of the Central Intelligence Agency's detention and interrogation program. And remember, after 9/11, many suspected terrorists were detained and for extended periods and tortured, according to this report. So, I mean, I don't believe every single commission that comes out of our government. So I'm just going through this because it's just interesting to me. But anyway, so neither the detention of Gulid nor the information he provided thwarted terrorist plotting against Camp Lemonnier, I can't say that word, and CIA records indicate that attack planning against Camp Lemonnier, I guess I say it, I don't know, continued well after Gulid's capture in March of 2004 to include a time period beyond the president's September 6, 2006 speech. In March 2005, the CIA sought approval to render an associate of Gulid, whom the CIA stated was terrorist attacks on U.S. targets in East Africa, particularly against Camp Lemonnier in Djibouti. In October 2005, a cable stated a body of reporting indicates that East Africa Al-Qaeda network operatives are currently planning attacks on U.S. interests in the region, particularly the U.S. military base camp Lemonnier in Djibouti. In April of 2007, the continued terrorist threat reporting against Camp Lemonnier hold on, resulted in a request for the camp to further alter their security practices. In October 2007, in light of the ongoing threat reporting related to Camp Lemonnier, CIA officer redacted attempted to explain the CIA validated statement in the president's September 6, 2006 speech that terrorists held in CIA custody helped stop the planned strike on U.S. Marines at Camp Lemonnier in Djibouti. So something was redacted there. And there's more footnotes. If you want to slow down or stop the video, you can look that up. And then who was involved in vetting of the speech wrote to a CIA colleague tracking the ongoing threats to Camp Lemonnier that the reasoning behind the CIA validation of the language in the speech, and remember, we can argue about whether or not planning constitutes. Oh, I see what it is. I can't. They screwed it up. I don't know what they're trying to say. Constitutes, I think. Sorry. A plot about whether anything is ever disrupted was that the detainee reporting increased our awareness of attack plotting against the base, leading to heightened security. A review of CIA records, however, found no indication that CIA detainee reporting from Gulid or any other CIA detainee alerted the CIA or the U.S. military to increase terrorist targeting of Camp Lemonnier. To the contrary, CIA records indicate that the CIA was in possession of substantial threat reporting demonstrating that Camp Lemonnier in Djibouti was being targeted by Al-Qaeda and Al-Qaeda affiliated extremists prior to the detention of Gulid on March 4, 2004. For example, on January 28, 2003, a former government report disseminated by the CIA stated that Al-Qaeda operatives were planning to ram an explosive-laden truck into the military base, probably Camp Lemonnier. On March 10, 2003, a terrorist advisory was issued, which stated that U.S. forces stationed at Camp Lemonnier in Djibouti could be targeted. Similar reporting continued through 2003, and by the end of the year, the CIA had redacted coverage indicating that Gilead and other, I guess that's how you say his name, other identified operatives are being redacted, I don't know, being directed by Abu Talha Sudani, whatever, to target Camp Lemonnier. By the end of December 2003, Djiboutian, that's so weird, Djiboutian authorities confirmed that Gilead had cased Camp Lemonnier and that Gilead appeared to have formulated a complete targeting package which included an escape route. It was this report that led Redacted to capture Gilead on March 4th, 2004. The assertion that CIA detainees subjected to enhanced interrogation techniques helped validate CIA sources. In addition to CIA claims that information produced during or after the use of CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques led to the disruption of terrorist plots and the capture of specific terrorists. The CIA also represented that its enhanced interrogation techniques were necessary to validate CIA sources. The claim was based on one CIA detainee, Janat Gul, whatever, contradicting the report of one CIA asset. The CIA reportedly represented to policymakers that information acquired after the use of CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques helped to validate CIA sources. For example, CIA Director Michael Hayden provided testimony to the committee on April 12, 2007, that detainee information is a key tool for validating clandestine sources. In fact, one case, the detainee's information proved to be the accurate story, and the clandestine source was confronted and subsequently admitted to embellishing or fabricating some or all of the details in his report. Similarly, in January 2009, the CIA compiled a detailed briefing book for a planned 3-hour briefing of the CIA's detention and interrogation program for President-elect Obama's national security staff. Included in the materials was a document that stated key intelligence was collected from HPD interrogations after applying the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. After this statement, the CIA provided examples, including that the most significant reporting acquired from CIA detainee Janat Gul, whatever, after applying the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques was information that helped the CIA validate a CIA asset. The document states Pakistan-based facilitator Janat Gul, however you say, most significant reporting helped us validate a CIA asset who was providing information about the 2004 pre-election threat. The asset claimed that Gul had arranged a meeting between himself and Al-Qaeda's chief of finance, Sheikh Saeed, a claim that Gul vehemently denied. Gul's reporting was later matched with information obtained from Sharif al-Masri and Abu Talha al-Pakistani, captured after Gul. With this reporting in hand, CIA redacted the asset who subsequently admitted to fabricating his reporting about the meeting. The CIA representation that the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques produced information that allowed the CIA to identify the reporting of a CIA asset as fabricated lacked critical contextual information. The CIA representations did not describe how the CIA assets reporting was already doubted by CIA officers prior to the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques against Gul, nor did the CIA representations acknowledge that the assets fabricated reporting was the reason that Janat Gul was subjected to the techniques in the first place. The CIA concluded that Janat Gul was not a high-level al-Qaeda figure and did not possess threat information, but this conclusion was not included in CIA's representations. In March 2004, the CIA received reporting from a CIA Asset Y, that Jannat Gul was planning with senior al-Qaeda's leaders to conduct attacks inside the United States. The attacks were reportedly planned to occur prior to the U.S. elections in November 2004. Asset Y, who cited Jannat Gul as the source of the information, stated that Gul was going to facilitate a meeting between Abu Faraj al-Libi and Asset Y in support of the operation. As noted, CIA officers expressed doubts about Asset Y reporting at the time it was received. A senior CIA officer, redacted, who formerly served as the chief of the bin Laden unit, raised questions about the reliability of the assets reporting on March something of 2004, stating that the reporting was vague and worthless in terms of actionable intelligence, and that Al Qaeda loses nothing by disclosing the information. He further stated that given an Al Qaeda statement emphasizing a lack of desire to strike before the U.S. election, and Al Qaeda's knowledge that threat reporting causes panic in Washington and leaks soon after it is received, the report would be an easy way for Al Qaeda to test Asset Y. Alex Station Officer Redacted expressed similar doubts about the sources reporting in response to the email. Less than 3 months later, Jannat Gul was captured and redacted on something of 2004, and then on June something of 2004, CIA's redacted proposed that Gul be rendered to CIA custody, citing Asset Y's reporting. During this period, however, the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques had been suspended by the CIA director. On June 29, 2004, a draft memorandum from DCI Tenet to National Security Advisor Rice sought special approval from the National Security Council Principals Committee to use the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques against Jannat Gul to learn more about the threat reporting from Asset Y. The memorandum referenced Asset Y's reporting and stated that if the CIA could use the techniques, the agency would be in an optimum position to obtain from Gul critical intelligence necessary to save American lives by disrupting the pre-election plot, locating senior al-Qaeda leaders still at large, and learning how Osama bin Laden communicates with his operatives. The memorandum further stated that given the magnitude of the danger posed by the pre-election plot and Jannat Gul's almost certain knowledge of any intelligence about that plot, I request the fastest possible resolution of the above issues. On July 2nd, 2004, the day that CIA headquarters approved the rendition of Jannat Gul to CIA custody, the CIA represented to select members of the National Security Council that Jannat Gul was one of the most senior radical Islamic facilitators in Pakistan, and noted that he was assessed by a key source on the pre-election plot to be involved in or to have information on the plot. On July 15, 2004, based on the reporting of Asset Y, the CIA represented to chairman and vice chairman of the committee that Jannat Gul was associated with the pre-election plot to conduct an attack in the United States. On July 20th, 2004, select national security principals met again and, according to CIA records, agreed that given the current threat and risk of delay, CIA was authorized and directed to utilize the techniques that Jannat Gul as necessary. With Jannat Gul, excuse me. On July 22nd, 2004, Attorney General Ashcroft approved the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques against Jannat Gul based on Asset Y's reporting. I don't know if y'all have ever watched the movie Zero Dark 30, but also there's another movie called The Mauritanian, I think. I saw it on Netflix. and it was showing some of that. Somebody said it's not an accurate uh, depiction, excuse me, yeah, of what they actually did. But I mean, it gives you kind of an idea of some of the enhanced interrogation techniques that could have been employed. Okay, but anyway, Jeanette Gull was rendered to CIA custody on July something of 2004. On August 2nd, 2004, Jeanette Gull denied knowledge of any immediate threats against the United States homeland. Gull's denial was deemed a strong resistance posture by CIA detention site personnel, and Jeanette Gull was then subjected to the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques from August 3rd, 2004 to August 10th, 2004, and then again from August 21st, 2004 to August 25th, 2004. On August 19th, 2004, CIA personnel wrote that their interrogation team does not believe Gull is withholding imminent threat information. On August 25th, 2004, CIA interrogators sent a cable to CIA headquarters stating that Jeanette Gull may not possess all that the CIA believes him to know. The interrogators added that the interrogation team maintains a degree of caution in some areas, as many issues linking Gull to Al Qaeda are derived from single source reporting, a reference to the CIA source Asset Y. That same day, August 25th, 2004, the CIA's Associate General Counsel provided a letter to the DOJ seeking approval to use additional CIA enhanced interrogation techniques against Jeanette Gull: dietary manipulation, nudity, water dousing, abdominal slap. The letter asserted that Jeanette Gull had information concerning imminent threats to the United States and information that might assist in locating senior Al Qaeda operatives whose removal from the battlefield could severely disrupt planned terrorist attacks against the United States. The letter stated, in addition, CIA understands that before his capture, Gull had been working to facilitate a direct meeting between redacted CIA redacted source reporting on the pre-election threat, her Asset Y, and Abu Faraj himself. Gull had arranged a previous meeting between Asset Y and Al Qaeda finance chief Sheikh Saeed, at which elements of the pre-election threat were discussed. The letter from the CIA's Associate General Counsel asserted that Jeanette, however you say his name, resistance increases when questioned about matters that may connect him to Al Qaeda or evidence he has direct knowledge or operational terrorist activities. The letter stated that the CIA sought approval to add 4 enhanced interrogation techniques to Jeanette Gull's interrogation plan in order to reduce markedly Gull's strong resistance posture and provide an opportunity for the interrogation team to obtain his cooperation. On August 26, 2004, Acting Assistant Attorney General Dan Levin informed CIA Acting General Counsel Rizzo that the use of the 4 additional enhanced interrogation techniques did not violate any U.S. statutes, the U.S. Constitution, or U.S. treaty obligations. Levin's letter stated that we understand that Jeanette Gull is a high-value Al-Qaeda operative who is believed to possess information concerning an imminent terrorist threat to the United States. On August 27, 2004, Gull CIA interrogators reported that in terms of overt indications of resistance, Gull's overall resistance is currently judged to be minimal. Nonetheless, on August 31st, 2004, the CIA interrogators asked CIA headquarters to approve an extension of all CIA enhanced interrogation techniques against Jeanette Gull. The CIA's Associate General Counsel objected, writing, in the end, it's going to be an operational call. I just want to make sure that the record is clear that we're not acting precipitously and are taking into consideration everything we're learning about this guy. We open ourselves up to possible criminal liability if we misuse the interrogation techniques. I reflect again on the cables from the interrogation teams that opines that physical EITs or enhanced interrogation techniques, facial slap, walling, etc., do not work on him. I would strongly encourage then HQs not to approval the use of physical interrogation techniques because if they don't work, then our motives are questionable. If our motives might be questioned, then we get ourselves in trouble. Despite these concerns, on September 3rd, 2004, CIA headquarters released a cable extending approval for sleep deprivation for 30 days. CIA records indicate, however, that Gold was not subjected to sleep deprivation or any other enhanced interrogation technique following this approval. On September 7, 2004, more than a month after Jeanette Gold was rendered to CIA custody, a CIA officer who had observed the interrogations of Gold prepared a memorandum for the leadership of the CIA's renditions, detentions, and interrogations group stating the definition of an HVD or high value detainee has probably become blurred over the past year as CIA began to render a number of MVDs or medium value detainees, but Jeanette Gold would not be considered an HVD when compared to Abu Zubaydah, KSM, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, and similar level HVDs. Jeanette Gold should likewise not be considered an operational planner or even an operator. It is very likely that Jeanette Gold came into contact with operational information, but we lack credible information that ties him to pre-election threat information or direct operational planning against the United States or at home or abroad. Likewise, we lack any substantive information that connects Jeanette Gold to UBL, Zawahiri, I can't say his names, and Abu Faraj Alibi. On September 16, 2004, CIA detention site personnel wrote that Jeanette Gold's reporting directly contradicted information from S at Y from March 2004 and stated that much of our derogatory information on Gold came from Asset Y reporting, as did much of our pre-election threat information. On September 17, 2004, following the reports about the discrepancies between the comments made by Jeanette Gold and Asset Y, as well as similar denials of Sharif al-Masri, who was in foreign government custody, the CIA undertook a counterintelligence review of Asset Y to assess the validity of Asset Y's reporting. On October something of 2004 and October something of 2004, CIA officers provided a redacted assessment of Asset Y. That redacted assessment indicated that Asset Y was deceptive in response to questions regarding his alleged meeting with senior Al-Qaeda official Sheikh Saeed, at which Asset Y claimed to have learned about the pre-election threat. Asset Y then admitted to having fabricated the information about the meeting. Despite the recantation of reporting from Asset Y, officers from the CIA's Alex station continued to assess that Jeanette Gold was one of the highest ranking facilitators in Pakistan with long-standing access to senior leaders in Al-Qaeda and other groups. This assessment was not shared by CIA personnel involved in Gold's interrogation. On November 10, 2004, the CIA's chief of base at detention site Black, the CIA detention site hosting Gold, wrote that the words used by Alex Station to describe Jeanette Gold fly in the face of what is now a rather long history of debriefings, which I would assert paint a very different picture of him. While Jeanette Gold was certainly a facilitator, describing him as highest ranking gives him a stature which is undeserved, overblown, and misleading. Stating that he had long-standing access to senior leaders in Al-Qaeda is simply wrong. To put it simply, Jeanette Gold is not the man we thought he was. While he he no doubt had associations and interactions with people of interest, Jeanette Gull is not the pivotal figure our pre-detention descriptions of him suggest. We do a disservice to ourselves, the mission, and even Jeanette Gull by allowing misperceptions of this man to persist. On November 22nd, 2004, a CIA officer noted the discrepancy between the CIA's description of Jeanette Gull as a potential source of intelligence information regarding an attack by Al Qaeda in a draft OLC memorandum and the current assessment of Jeanette Gull. In an email, the CIA officer indicated that he had spoken to the CIA's Associate General Counsel, redacted, who had informed him that the state of our knowledge about Gull had evolved since he was captured. The email noted that at first we believed he had attack information of a more prominent or imminent nature, but now it appears that he does not have such information. The email indicated that Redacted would talk to personnel to OLC or at OLC about the issue to amend the draft opinion to reflect the state of our knowledge. The OLC memorandum was not updated. On December 19, 2004, CIA detention site personnel wrote again that Jeanette Gull was not the man CIA headquarters made him out to be, and that he is a very simple man who no doubt did a capable job as a facilitator, but he's not the link to senior AQ leaders that CIA headquarters said he was or is. And there's more footnotes. On April 6, 2005, as the OLC approached completion of its analysis of the legality of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, the OLC asked the CIA about the interrogation of Gull using the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, specifically what the CIA got from Jeanette Gull. Was it valuable and did it help anything? The CIA did not immediately respond to this request, and the CIA's Associate General Counsel, redacted, noted that OLC personnel had taken to calling him daily for information. On April 14, 2005, a CIA officer emailed redacted talking points about that. Pakistan-based facilitator Jeanette Gull's most significant reporting helped us validate a CIA asset who was providing information about the 2004 pre-election threat. The asset claimed that Gull had arranged a meeting between himself and Al Qaeda's chief of finance, Sheikh Saeed, a claim that Gull vehemently denied. Gull's reporting was later matched with information obtained from Sharif al-Masri and Abu Talha, captured after Gull. With this reporting in hand, CIA redacted the asset, who subsequently admitted to fabricating his reporting about the meeting. On May 10, 2005, the OLC issued a formal memorandum that included a discussion of the legality of the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques against Jeanette Gull, citing information provided in the CIA's August 25, 2004 letter. The OLC memorandum stated, "You asked for our advice concerning these interrogation techniques in connection with their use on a specific high-value Al Qaeda detainee named Jeanette Gull. You informed us that the CIA believed Gull had information about Al Qaeda's plans to launch an attack within the United States. According to the CIA's information, Gull had extensive connections to various Al Qaeda leaders, members of the Taliban, and the Al-Zarqawi network, and had arranged meetings between an associate and an Al Qaeda's finance chief to discuss such an attack. Our conclusions depend on these assessments." All right, I'm going to stop here. I wanted to look at something with this whole Tylenol debate. I've seen several videos like on my Instagram, but I was going to look at X and see if I can find them there. And it's easier to stop the video because for whatever reason on Instagram, I can't get the video to stop. It just starts playing over and over. I don't like that. So I'll see if I can find those. But anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.